Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi everyone, how are you? I hope you are in a good condition. Thank you for coming in my presentation. I'm glad to see you guys. So, first of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Winona Safira and my last number is 77. And this opportunity, I would like to present about my paper review seminar on ELT. Before that, let me tell you about some points that will become our discussion today. So, first we will discuss about title of the articles, and then we will talk about abstract. The third one is part 1 introduction, the fourth one is part 2 theoretical framework, and then tell about part 3 methodology, part 4 result, part 5 conclusion, part 6 language and data presentation, and the last but not least, we will discuss about part 7, overall point of review. So, let's start with how it begins. My title of the first article is Improving EFL Student Higher Order Thinking Skill Through Collaborative Skills Reading in Indonesia. And the authors are Arik Susanti, Pratiwirtnaningdia, Adenila Puspitayu, Anistri Susana. The second title of my article is Collaborative and Communicative Reading, and the authors are Craig Kutmeasure and Asako Kajura. The next point talks about abstract. Article 1, the research aims to investigate whether collaborative strategic reading (CCR) strategy can improve higher order thinking skill of students. Then, the research data was obtained by giving a reading test is one of the public vocational high school in Surabaya, Indonesia. These test data were analyzed using independent sample t-test and peer sample t-test. Results show that collaborative strategic reading (CCR) could improve higher order thinking skill for students. Moreover, the result of the peer sample t-test also indicate a significant difference between pre-test and post-test score of experimental students. To sum up, the strategy benefits students in enhancing higher order thinking skill for students. Well, the next slide is abstract article 2. This article examines some of the reasons why reading classes are not fulfilling their potential to motivate students and to increase the acquisition of a second language. Furthermore, this article provides specific example and advice to reading teachers and writers of teaching materials regarding how to facilitate collaborative and communicative reading listen. The next point talk about the introduction. In Article 1. It describes the background of the topic about learning reading classes using collaborative skill. The aim of the author is to take the theme of this journal. Is it appropriate to use it in the reading class so that it can motivate students to participate in the process of teaching learning English so that they can increase their reading comprehension? The originality of the article was conducted research using a method research. The writers makes the sentence in this study more specific. It will be easy to understand. While in Article 2, the background to this article discusses teacher who have idea for making reading classes because most students learn on their and indeed use not only collaborative but also communicative to help students find the correct answer by studying in class reading. The authenticity of the article can be seen from the researcher explaining the chapter in the article very clear, concise, and easy to understand by readers. The next material tells about theoretical framework. Uh, the first article it shows that accurate content that is quite interesting can be seen from explain related to the topic by the researcher where the purpose of learning cognitive so that students are be able to apply their knowledge and skill such as collaboration or teamwork, communication, and critical thinking or to solve problems. The authors provide this article is also very accurate, each of which is related to each other and gets information from this article. Move to the material is part of methodology. The purpose article 1 is increase student high order thinking skill in reading class using pre-test and post-test method with the population of this study were students of class 11 of a vocational school in Surabaya, East Java. While in Article 2, purpose of this study using collaborative reading technique can motivate students to read and complete reading. Technique can motivate students to read and complete reading assessment in small groups. The researcher using oversafe method with the sample in Japanese universities. Well, the next point tell about the result of the discussion in research article 1. The pretest score of the experimental and control group were analyzed using the independent sample t-test. So, using CCR in the English teaching learning process can improve student high-order thinking skill and be successfully applied in future learning process. While in Article 2, collaborative reading technique can motivate students, help students understanding their mistake, allow students to teach and learn from each other, and help develop critical thinking. Next point is the conclude Article 1 is that the analysis of student pre-test and post-test score obtained from the experimental and control group show that the use of collaborative reading strategies is useful for improving student high-order thinking skill. And the conclude Article 2, the author explained using collaborative reading techniques motivates students, helps students to understand mistakes, allow students to teach and learn from one another. Part 6 is Language and Data Presentation. Article 1 includes tables difference between the mean of the post-test score among the experimental group and the control group. There is not find the grammar and spelling in this article, but I think there are still many readers who don't really know what the formula is meant by the researcher. Formal grammar is very easy to understand. Meanwhile, in Article 2, there is no table, figures, and other visual aids, but all chapters are described in detail. The last point is overall point of review. Article 1 is Article 1, the content is good and interesting. The layout provides the complete outline of the references. College students encourage them to be involved in the teaching learning process. While in Article 2, the content also good and interesting. There is no layout in this research. The author directly explained the points related to the research title, but it can contribute to the implementation of reading classes that serve as guidelines for the content of reading article. So that's all for my presentation today. Thank you very much for your great attention and see you next time. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.